Pork is usually the most affordable meat, and my local store always has some kind of deal on several different cuts. I really like these boneless country-style ribs because they're so versatile. Today I'm using them to make boneless barbecue ribs in the air fryer with just a couple other ingredients. I have a couple packages of boneless country-style ribs totaling just over 3 pounds. So here's how it goes. The first thing is to marinate the pork a little bit. A little oil helps to lubricate and give the seasoning something to stick to. Sometimes I'll add a little liquid smoke, but this seasoning already has some smokiness to it. Of course, you can use any seasoning you prefer, but I'm a longtime fan of these Grill Mates and they have a great variety of mixes. Make sure to rub the seasoning really well into all the nooks and crannies. And then I'm going to set this out to marinate for between 30 to 60 minutes on the counter to let the flavors marry up and also to take some of the chill from the fridge. But if you're not in a hurry, you can leave this in the fridge overnight to get even more flavor to penetrate into the meat. When it's time to cook, I'll preheat the air fryer to 375, and these will cook for 30 minutes with the flip at the halfway point. I want to make sure there's space around all the pieces to get proper airflow, so I'm going to do these in 2 batches. The only other ingredient I need is some type of barbecue sauce. Use anything you like, and you can certainly use homemade if you want. I think today I'll go with this chipotle honey and save the habanero jerk for something else. Besides, I'm not sure Steve would appreciate the habanero. Here's the flip at the 15-minute mark. And now the meat is fully cooked, so you can eat it as is and serve the sauce on the side. But I like to brush some on the meat and caramelize it a bit. This habanero jerk sauce is really calling to me, but I'm still gonna stick with the chipotle honey. So now I'll turn up the heat to 400 and cook it for 3 to 5 minutes on this side, then flip and repeat on the other side. I did peek in on the meat a couple times to make sure it didn't burn, since the sugars in the sauce can go from caramelized to burnt really quickly. The first batch is done, and now I'll just let it cool off for a bit while the second batch goes in. It's a good idea to pour off any excess fat in between batches. This helps to keep the fat from burning and smoking, especially for fatty meats like ribs or bacon. I'll even add a little water to keep the fat from smoking. I poured off at least a half a cup of fat just from that first batch. A little dish for extra sauce to dip. Oh, who am I kidding? You knew I would have to try the habanero sauce. Taste test time. These are the chipotle honey sauced ones. The meat is perfectly cooked, tender and juicy, and wow, oh so good. That sauce is really good too. When Steve got home, he absolutely loved it. The chipotle honey was sweet with just a nice touch of heat, but the habanero jerk had a lot of heat to it. He liked the flavor, but the heat was just a little too much for him. So this was delicious, and we had a fine dinner that night and lunches for the rest of the week. As always, ingredients and instructions are below in the description box. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment if that's something you're into. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.